Leaf. If you know the extension of the person you wish to leave a message for, you may enter it any time. To speak to Kasari Govinder, Executive Director, please enter 111. For Laura Track, Legal Director, please enter 112. If you are calling about our Equality Breakfast 2014, please enter 114 to speak to Stephanie Sirsley, Communications Director. For Christy Arnold, Education Manager, please enter 117. One moment, please. This is Christy.
Hi, Christy. I'm calling from Vancouver. My name's John Hambling, and I was on the Leaf Canada website, and then I found my way over to the Leaf, the West Coast website, and I'm wondering about some of the language on the site because it's not really very clear to me. I'm writing some articles about equality rights in Canada, and I don't understand the phrase which is used repeatedly on the Leaf website, substantive equality.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Like, what does the adjective substantive change about the word equality?
Well, it's basically like it's the kind of equality that Canada has signed on to. And what it means is, like a formal definition of equality would mean that everybody gets the same thing. And substantive equality has to take into account historic patterns of discrimination, and seek to allow the law to benefit everybody equally. So it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's going to get the same thing, if that makes sense. But
so it's sort of like applying quotas or a handicap to certain groups. Sort of like it's a legal golf handicap, is what it is.
In a sense, yeah, you could call it that. Yeah, so like an example that often comes up that was a big case in Canada is with access to health care.
Right.
And saying that people who can't hear have a right to have interpreters with them or to be provided with interpreters when they go to the doctor. Because if they were provided the same service that everybody else is provided, then they can't get the benefit of the service, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that seems very benign, but when you were explaining it to me before you got to the deafness example, it seemed like what you're saying is that by providing a sort of, because we're not actually talking about, a doctor providing a deaf translation service, or I don't know, Braille, or whatever form of access would be accommodating somebody who couldn't hear. We're talking about sort of legal rights, human rights, especially into the Canadian law, right? So
yeah.
If you actually approach that, and I know maybe I'm getting this wrong, but if you approach legal equality, sort of legal representation or legal rights, or right to a hearing in the case of a court case or whatever, and you handicap one group or advantage one group in order to sort of create a level playing field where you perceive there not to be one, aren't you actually just using the term substantive equality to refer to what is the opposite of equality?
Well, I think what context are you sort of asking in? I'm just curious. Where are you writing from?
I'm actually auditing a women's studies course at SFU, and LEAF was one of the references, like in the materials that we got for the course. And this is not for the course. This is just for a blog that I write, and I write from a sort of a free market libertarian point of view. So I'm not doing course material here. LEAF came in under my, in front of my eyes because I'm doing this educational stuff, and so I'm pursuing it in a different context.
Well, if you want to talk specifically about the sort of legal nitty-gritty, then I would pass you along to our legal director. I think she would be the best person to talk to. Can I take your phone number?
Yeah.
And I'll have her give you a call back.
It's...
Name's John.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll have her give you a call back, and I would just ask that if you're going to write about anything, that you get permission from us first to use our name in anything.
Really? You can't just write about stuff?
Well, you can.
Sure. I mean, I have no problem doing that. I just think it's peculiar.
Okay. Well, I would ask that you get our permission before publishing something about us.
Why? Aren't people allowed to just write about stuff?
So I would, in the context of this conversation, I would just ask.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to pass you along to Laura to speak to you about the substantive equality piece in a legal context.
Okay.
And she can answer your questions there, but just prefacing it with that.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks a lot.
Okay.